Evening everyone, I hope all of you are doing fine. Yes. So in the previous session we had learned about long division method by solving few questions related to it. In this video also we'll be doing the same thing by solving few more questions to become more familiar with this concept. So the first question says, let's proceed, right? The first question says, find the length of the side of a square field whose area is 441 square meters. That means if I take or consider this to be a square field, you know that all the sides are equal. We are aware of the area, right? If this is going to be our square field, what is its area? It's 441 meter square. What's the formula to find the area of a square? Area of a square is equal to side into side, or we can even tell side square, right? That means we are already aware about this, that side square is equal to 441 meter square. That implies side into side is equal to 441 meter square. Therefore, square root of 441. Why do we have to find the square root? Because when multiplication is there, when the same, the number is going to be multiplied two times, if we have to find one number, then we have to go with the square root, right? Let me explain it with an example. 4 square is equal to 16, right? So that means square root of 16 is 4. What we have done, we have found the square root of it. Same way over here. If square root of 441 is going to be our side, not side square, because that square symbol has turned into the square root. Okay, when you're shifting it, square becomes square root and square root square, and so on. Like plus becomes minus when we are shifting from left hand side to right hand side, right hand side from left hand side, same. Okay, square root of 4 is equal to s. If you have to find the square root, we can either go with this long division method also. 2 2s are 4. We can take this, then we have to bring the next complete pair down. You have to add it to the quotient. It's going to be 4. 41 into 1 is 41, right? Minus 41 is going to be 0. That means the square root is side is equal to 21 centimeters. So we are done with this question. Good luck. Next. So next question says there are 500 children in a school. For a PT drill, they have to stand in such a manner that the number of rows is equal to the number of columns. How many children would be left out in this arrangement? That means for a mass PT drill, you all have to stand. We consider you all to be the students in such a way that the number of rows will be equal to the number of columns. Number of columns will be equal to the number of rows. That means here 5 columns, so here there will be 5 rows. So 500 children we have to arrange in such a way. Whenever you are given, like for example, you are given this, how do you calculate their sum? All of these sum. Instead of adding them so on, what do you do? Right? If you have to find, what do? You do 3 3 9, not adding. Actually count. If you have to count how many threes are there, what do? You directly take this into this. 3 3, yes, 3 into 3. That means there are 9, you know 9 what to say, 9 3 digits, 9 digits of 3 over here. Okay, it might be seem confusing. Let me explain it. 500 children have to be placed in such a way that number of rows equal to the number of columns. I think that is understood. And how many children will be left out in this arrangement? Don't you think we have to check whether this is a perfect square or not? check if it is a perfect square. Why do we have to check whether it's a perfect square? Because if it's a perfect square, then itself then itself we are going to, where we will be able to arrange them, right? Then itself we'll be able to arrange them. So the number of rows equal to number of columns. Otherwise, it's not possible. That's why we have to take 500 children and check 500 whether it's a perfect square or not. So we are going to proceed with this long division method, and then we have to see how many children will be left out in this arrangement. That means if this is not going to be a perfect square, then how many children are going to remain? They won't be able to fit in this arrangement. So we'll see. Whatever will be the square root of this number, if we find, then that many rows and that many columns. But if you're not going to find what's its square root, if it doesn't have a square root, for that we have to see how many children will be left out. So let's proceed. Yes, so we can take 2 2s are 4, right? Which is more near to it, where when we add it will be 4. 45 to 5. We have to place the same digit as I had informed you earlier also. 45 into 5, 5 to carry 20 to 25. Oh my god, it's going to be exceeding. 44, 43 into 3 will take 129. It's also exceeding. 42 into 2, 84. Perfect. 42 into 2 minus 84. It's going to be 16. That means 16 is the remainder. How many children will be left out in this arrangement? 16 children will be left out in this arrangement. Right. So alright, we have understood that how many children will be left out? 16 children. Right? So are we done with this question also? That means, let me explain one more thing. So this is not a perfect square. We concluded that. That's why we were not able to arrange the children in such a way that the number of rows is equal to the number of columns. That means the number of students who are there in each row. Number of rows is number of columns. We were not able to arrange them, right? So 16 children were extra. If they would be less, then obviously it was possible. So if it, let's check whether our answer is correct or wrong. 500 minus 16 is, what is 500 minus 16? Is it 484? Yes, it's 484. That means 484. If there would be 484 children, then we would be able to arrange them with the manner number of rows will be equal to number of columns. Because 484 is a perfect square of 22. Square of 22, that means square root of 484 is 22. Okay, so we can 22 rows and 22 columns will be possible, and they will be arranged. Okay, same that thing, now rows will be equal to columns. That's why. I hope you all understood, and if you have any doubts, please in the comments.